Hi everyone and welcome to r/ChoosingBeggars. This story is titled, Is Your Trailer for Sale? If so, I'll take it. Okay, first some context. I was selling my dad's camping trailer for him on a website. It was a run-down, water-damaged bumper trailer that, from what we thought at the time, was still worth repairing. But because of the water damage and the tyres not being good, we were only asking $100, and we weren't even firm on that really. With deer season coming up, this was an easy sale since deer hunters, like my dad used to be, tend to buy them to do cheap repairs for the season and then use them to hunt with. So we had several offers in the first day. Mind you, this had a funny working stove with oven and furnace and a removable porta potty, and those alone are worth over $100. The first guy asked to come and take a look that day. The second said if we were still selling it, he would take it, but as we had someone already coming, I said, I'm sorry, can't at the moment. While getting ready for the first guy, we pulled the trailer out and thought about what it would take to tear it apart and turn it into a hauling trailer. The first guy comes to look at it. Like I said, it wasn't in great shape, so we offered $50. Now, if it wasn't for the fact that it was the first day and we'd had by this point 5 others asking to come and take a look, I would have jumped on it. In fact, my dad was still considering it until I reminded him we had several others looking. Yeah, that makes me sound like the choosing beggar. But remember, this is the first day out, and that was half the asking price, and we had 5 other people asking. The first guy wanted to fully restore it, but didn't have the time, as it was a little more worse for wear. Anyway, the first guy says he will think about it and contact us, but to let the next person get it if they want it. I was like, okay, so that's what I did. I went to the next person who contacted me and said he was next in line if he was still interested. He said, sure, I'll take it. I honestly thought, as anyone would, that he meant he wanted to buy it. Nope. Here's the conversation in a nutshell. Me. You're next in line if you're still interested. Him. Sure. If it's available, I'll take it. Me. Okay, it's $100. Him. No, I mean I'll take it. Me. Confused. I'm not sure what you mean it's $100. Him. No, it's not worth that. I'll just take it. Me. No, I can't let you just have it. Even with the water damage to the camper trailer part, the metal frame itself is worth more than $100, let alone the stove and furnace. If you strip it down, which by this point was what we were already planning on doing and debating whether to contact anyone else, as this would in fact make the value go up. Him. Fine then, I don't need it. Me. To myself. Okay, not sure why you thought I'd let you just haul it away for free though. Keep in mind this was still only the second caller and it was still the first day the ad was up online. Anyway, long story short, we decided to tear the trailer apart ourselves that weekend. And then the third guy who didn't show up, we figured that as we had the time, we just decided to do it and made it into a hauling trailer instead of a camper. And guess what? It sold for $800 the following week. The first guy did actually call back and offered to buy it for the $100, but by then it was already torn apart. I felt bad for the first guy, but glad he didn't buy it as he wanted to fully restore it, and whilst we were taking it apart to get to the metal frame, we discovered that the guy my dad had got it from had hidden more damage to it, and it wouldn't have been worth repairing. This story is titled, Just Trying to Help Somebody. I'm the lead technician and help run an HVAC company in Texas. We'd really try to help everyone we can, and do what we can do to make everyone comfortable in the Texas heat. Well, one day we had an incident with a choosing beggar that my boss knew. We shall call her Karen. Her outside unit on her AC had a compressor that locked up and would never operate again. Luckily for her, we had a used outside unit that we could sell her and install for only $500. Awesome, right? Well, here's where things get interesting. I arrive, she has a gate on the right side of the house for me and my helper to go in and out of the backyard through. We grab our tools, go into the backyard and get to work. I realise I need another piece of equipment and went to get out to the side gate, only to find it's been locked. I knock on the back door and request that the gate gets unlocked, and she does so with a bit of a fight, but I just want to get the job done. We recover the burnt refrigerant from the system and unhook the electrical from the unit. We finally got it all disconnected and emptied and pulled it away from the housing. And we were ready to go and get the used unit we brought and install it, and things start to go downhill. Once again, I find the gate to be locked. Once again, I knock on the back door and ask for it to be unlocked. She again does so, but again, not without a fight. Me and my helper got the used unit on a dolly and were rolling it into the backyard when I found the gate to be locked again. At this point, I'm livid. I get some tools from my van and I take the gate off its hinges and set it against the house. Finally in the backyard, and able to get to work, I start to install the unit when Karen comes out and sees it. And here we go. She takes one look at it and has a disgusted look on her face. Karen. Why the hell is it so dirty? And why the hell did you take my gate off? Me. Because it's a used unit that I uninstalled off another house myself 2 years ago, and I removed the gate because you kept locking it, hindering my work, and what I'm here to do. Karen. I locked it because I have small dogs. Me. Well, keep the dogs inside. I have a job to do and I need access to my tools. She scoffs and goes back inside. I think I'd heard the end of it. I was wrong. I'm in the middle of braising the copper pipes together when she comes back outside and raises a storm about how dirty the unit is. Knowing the unit is used and she's getting a hell of a deal for the price. Karen. I can't believe you would sell me a unit that is this dirty. Me. You knew exactly what you were getting when you wanted a used unit, Karen. It has a bit of wear on it and it's a bit dirty, but it works and you're getting a deal. Karen. I just expected it to at least look new. Me. That's not how used products work. At this point I was fuming. I walked past her and went through the now open back fence to the front yard to call my boss. I told him everything and he calmly asked me only one question. Do you feel it's in our interest to deny service? I said yes, absolutely. He told me to uninstall our used unit and reinstall the old busted unit. You got it, boss. I returned to the backyard where Karen stood yelling at my helper. Me. I'm sorry, Karen, but we are no longer comfortable doing business with you and will reinstall your old unit and be on our way. Karen. Why aren't you comfortable with it anymore? Me. Do you want the company response or one from me? Karen. Yours. Buckle up, kiddos. Because you're a selfish narcissist and can't just accept a good deal when it's in front of you. On top of that, you locked me and my helper in your backyard 3 times before I eventually just took the gate off. You complain about the unit being dirty even though you're getting it for $500, even though I should be charging you well over $1,000, and overall, you're just a b****. She just looked at me slack-jawed and went inside. I reinstalled her old unit and packed up. We never heard from her again, and even if she does call, we will not be doing any further business with her. And that is how I fired my first customer. This story is titled, But I Don't Want to Spend My Money on the Boring Things. This is the story of something that happened around 2017-2018. Unfortunately, no screenshots, just text this time. Important background information is that where I'm from, there are multiple forms of taxes. There are the general taxes that you pay once a year to the state, but there's also something called municipal taxes that help the city you live in, pay for maintenance to roads, parks, etc. It also pays for your trash to be picked up. The setting is my Facebook wall. I'm happily scrolling and selling my personal information and my soul to Mark when a post made by a friendly acquaintance catches my eye. Now, it's important to know that this acquaintance prizes himself as doing as little as possible at work and has thus been let go from multiple companies since I've known him. He's also a very avid geek, visiting every festival, every con, every movie premiere, doing live-action role-play events every weekend, both national and international, and building elaborate costumes for each and every one, spending hundreds of euros on it. Him. So, I've been caught by surprise by this year's municipal taxes. I've had some bad luck lately. My washing machine broke and I got some expensive speeding tickets. So to make a long story short, I don't have enough money to pay for this, but I have 742 Facebook friends. If every one of you donates 78 cents to me, I'll be able to pay this. If all of you donate €1, I'll even have the start of a little bit of savings again in case something else breaks down. Multiple people reply that they're very willing to send him some money. Then person A asks, don't you have a ticket to expensive LARP event? I'm willing to buy that off you for the same price as what you paid for it. Note, this ticket is worth about €350 and has been sold out for months. Acquaintance, thank you, but no thank you. I'm not willing to part with that ticket. Person A, but that event's going to be really expensive. You have to drive to it on the other side of Europe. You'll have to pay for your own food, etc. Looking at it, you can't afford to go anyway. Acquaintance, I know, but I have money set aside for that. Crickets. You can hear people think, wait, if you have money for that, why don't you pay your taxes with that instead? People start asking, but don't you have tickets for X and for Y and for Z? Why don't you just sell those in order to pay your bills? Acquaintance keeps replying with variations on, I don't want to sell my tickets. Those are for events that I have been looking forward to. He just wants to have his cake and eat it, do all the fun things, but avoid the responsibilities that an adult has by not allocating any money for taxes. Then, to add insult to injury, his ex-girlfriend responds to the thread posting a picture of a pile of money on what is clearly acquaintance's coffee table. Remember last year when I had to bail you out of this? You told me that you'd learned your lesson. This would never, ever happen again. So what happened? His post disappeared pretty soon after that. After all of this, I started paying attention to what he posts, and it's always, I need X, I need Y, I need Z. Who has, insert expensive and specialist piece of equipment, and could do this or that for free for me? Even if people reply with, I know you can get Y for very cheap at this store, he always answers with, no, I'm hoping I could use some that someone already has so I don't have to buy my own. He's also always asking for photographers that would like to do time for pictures photo shoots with him in his latest costumes, never willing to pay anyone for anything. This story is titled, I can get it soon, she said. I'll be back as soon as possible, she said. Apologies if this isn't the right soap for a story like this. I just had what might very well be the worst experience I've ever had on a second-hand marketplace, and I need to vent a little. I decided to rearrange my bedroom in order to accommodate a desk and PC. My furniture was bulky and all came together in a bedroom set. My plan was to sell the set I currently own before the new stuff came in. I didn't care about price, I just wanted this stuff gone. I put up ads all over the place. I don't have Facebook, so my sister put up the ad on Facebook Marketplace for me, and this is where Karen enters the picture. That's not her real name, but for obvious reasons, that's the name I'm using here. Karen responds to the ad saying she'd love the bedroom set for her daughter. The odd part is, my sister had a couple of her own ads up as well, and Karen responded to those. But her story was so all over the place. For example, my sister had a baby bag for sale too, and Karen replied that she was a new mother who really needed a good baby bag. Okay, weird, but whatever. I was happy enough to find a buyer so soon that I was willing to ignore that. Karen asked to come see the set. We invited her over. While at my house, she kept pointing to some of her other furniture and asking if it was for sale. Majority of it wasn't, and I pretty much had to usher her into my room with the bedroom set. She complained about the damages, which were noted on the ad, and really she should have known about them. Some of the drawer tracks were broken and they needed a new paint job. That was pretty much it. She tried to barter down the price for a bedroom set that was dirt cheap already. Whatever, I needed this thing gone, so I agreed. She promised to come back and get it Wednesday. This happened on a Sunday. Come Tuesday, and my sister sent a message to touch base with Karen, and that's when we find out that she's not coming. She didn't really give a good reason why. She said she was worried about snow, but it was only supposed to lightly snow that day, and it did. But anyway, she said she couldn't come. This is where we start getting upset at Karen, because my sister has cancelled plans in order to be home to meet her. She promised to come Thursday. Thursday comes, I was at work, so my sister was there to meet Karen. The truck she brought to move the bedroom set wasn't big enough to transport all of it, so she said she'd take half the stuff now and come back for the rest later. We agreed, helped her load what we could, and she was off. My sister then sat at home waiting for Karen to come back for the remaining things. She waited, and waited, and waited, for about 8 hours. Karen had not paid me at this time, so on top of going completely MIA for a frankly unreasonable amount of time, we were starting to get fearful that she'd stolen my things. The stuff was picked up mid-morning, and it wasn't until the late evening that we were finally able to reach Karen. Turns out the reason she was missing in action for so long was because she took a nap while we were waiting for her. We got upset with her again, and according to Karen, we really shouldn't have expected her, because I never said I was coming back today. But when someone says they'll be right back, what the hell are we supposed to think? We reminded her that the stuff absolutely had to be gone Friday morning. My new furniture was coming in that evening, and my room wasn't big enough to store both sets, nor was there any storage available anywhere else in the house. It's a small place. Pretty much every room had a person living in it, and the garage was reserved for my dad's Mercedes. I wasn't exaggerating when I said I have no room to store them. Then this genius suggests leaving them in our living room until she's able to come and get it. Like, no. We use that room. We told her that's unacceptable. Come ASAP. Now she's unhappy herself since she can't take her sweet time anymore. We finished off the conversation that night and she e-transferred half the agreed upon amount, saying she'd pay the other half in cash when she picked up the remaining furniture. Come Friday morning, and guess who flakes out again? Not even a reason given, just now's not a good time. So with the new furniture in, and we got no choice but leave the remaining things in the garage, which we can't do long term at all, we gave her one final chance. come this weekend or the stuff will be left out on the curb. Whether Karen or trash collection gets to it first is entirely up to her. Karen arrives Sunday, grumbling the whole time about how unfair we've been to her while loading the things in her truck. We were just standing by and watching her as she and her daughter loaded everything. By this point, no one was in a charitable enough mood to help her, and I doubt she'd have even accepted the help if we did offer. She was griping on about how damaged the furniture was. You know the damages we told her about. Also, she's getting it for dirt cheap. What's she complaining about? After pretty much throwing the money at us, she turned to us one last time and said, "You guys really need to learn how things work in Canada." Now, I will say that my family and I are not white, and are obviously not originally from the country we live in. My mum in particular has a strong accent when she speaks English. That said, the two people she was speaking to the most, me and my sister, don't have any accent at all, and in fact have been living here with no issues for almost 30 years. Nope, lady, you're just a bee, and we absolutely let her have it after that. She effed off right after that. This happened yesterday, and I'm still angry. I really should have listened to my gut when I got the feeling that something was off about this woman. Lesson learned, I guess. And that was r/ChoosingBeggars. Hope you can join me on the next one. Bye-bye.